welcome back to the Everything Goez Podcast with your host, TAK. A weekly podcast with the latest sports news, the hottest of the hot takes, and the best predictions you can get. Now, Chris, Ace, take it away.
What is good, everybody? I honestly forgot how to introduce it for some reason. Lost my words there. Welcome back, episode 213 to the Everything Goez Podcast with TAK. You like how I did that? TAK. Like we're in Hollywood. I
think we need to change that intro. Instead of now
Really?
Chris Ace get it. It should be now Dad Ace get it.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what, my buddy jokes with me, but I love it because he always jokes the hottest of the hot takes. He loves that part.
I always love how I'm like, all right, now Chris Ace, take it away, but I always do the intro.
Oh, yeah, fair.
So
You know what I used to like? I used to like the old one, the intro where it had the Cowboys and it had Emmett.
that one was sick. I was actually, I don't know why, but last week I randomly listened to our first ever podcast episode.
Oh God.
Whoa.
And it's so funny. It's honestly not even bad. It's funny. And I don't know,
just
like
remember
those
days, man.
intros, when we made that intro, I was like, this is it. Like we made it big time. Like this is
I
it.
just remember the intro. I remember how many times we used to start over because we would laugh, and we had that folding table, and we had like 15 pages of notes and everything. It's like we were reading the news.
I don't remember stopping and starting, but I remember it would take us a couple minutes to start because we were too nervous to even.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you're just talking into a mic and no one, like back then you're just recording. Like now we're live. You know, it's different than it was before. But I mean, no one's.
Well, I remember when we used to get
Yeah.
calls and you'd be like, "Oh my God, he's calling."
Oh my gosh, man!
And I was like, "Answer it."
Even now, like when we get a guest on, and no matter who it is, especially if I line them up, like that feeling of we're sitting here and like I send the invite, and you're just waiting.
Yeah.
And we're just talking. It's like almost like the first time you ask someone out or you're going on a date. Like I'm
He's
so
calling.
Yeah.
We'll answer it then.
Yeah. the worst ever was when we were like recording and I just randomly texted Rob Ryan. I'm like, hey, like, you know, we're recording. Do you want to call in? Didn't think he would. And like my phone just starts going off. Like, Dad, plug it in. Like back then we had to plug everything in.
Oh my God, we had to plug
And
the phone
we
into the
couldn't.
stupid stuff.
We could hear him, or like he could hear us, but we couldn't hear him. And it was so soul crushing. Saying, "I'm sorry, Rob. We need to let you go."
that night.
Bro,
We
back
called Hugh Jackson.
then
Hugh
too, like
Jackson came on.
we'd hold the speaker to the microphone because we didn't know how to connect the phone to the. It took us a while to get the things going. You know what I mean? Like it took us a while, but I mean it's good to be back.
We had backup.
Fun. Shout out
We've
StreamYard.
come a long way. StreamYard is absolutely game changing for us. This is the best thing that's ever happened to us. I mean, less editing. It's literally all here at our fingers. It felt
And it's
weird not
live.
having we're live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, it felt weird. It felt weird going into a Sunday this week and my team didn't play.
Oh God.
Like I feel like it's so sad. But I'm like, so what do I do with my Sunday? My
It
wife's
feels
like,
good 'cause
my
the
wife's
Cowboys
like,
didn't lose.
my wife's like, this is the best thing ever. Like, let's hang out.
I think the Vikings beat the Rams if they played on a Sunday and not like the Monday national spotlight game. I feel
I'm
like.
not a fan of Monday Night Football. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
of
especially in
Monday.
the playoffs. It just felt a little off, I guess.
I'm not a fan of 8 o'clocks. Like Sunday Night Football is amazing, but by the time halftime rolls around, I'm barely hanging on. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we're on mountain time like he is over there where the
Well, now
game
that
ends
problem not
like
here.
8 o'clock. You know, it's like midnight by the time it goes. I don't know how you let me as a kid watch a Saints Sunday night game screaming at midnight.
Well, I knew you'd be in bed by halftime because they usually lost.
I mean, back then we were playing.
Oh,
okay.
geez.
You're okay. You're okay. Let's talk about the big news. And I already know your opinion on this.
It's
We already
not
heard it. Let me at least say it to the
News.
people
It's
that are
speculation.
listening.
Big difference.
Let me at least say it to the people listening. Gosh. Deion Sanders talking to Jerry Jones, possibility of him go. I don't think he personally leaves Colorado, but now all the speculation talking about how he would definitely take the job if Jerry offers it. First of all, let's just get your opinion on how the fact that Jerry Jones blocks teams from even interviewing Mike McCarthy and then just has a fallout with him when you could have been interviewing people like Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, all these different guys. Like, what are your thoughts on that when you see those kind of things going into it?
It's typically the same thing that happens all the time. The Cowboys always shoot themselves in the foot and screw up somehow or another. This is what they do. They're always in the news for either the positive or the negative. It's just Jerry's way. He loves the freaking circus.
So, like, what is your initial?
Very true.
And
we're never going to coach like that because those coaches are going to get like
initial
10
thoughts when you see
that.
When you see Jerry is talking to Deion, like right off the bat, like, are you like, that's dumb, or like, are you little interested at all?
No, not at all. I don't want the circus. I do not want what I saw in CU coming to Dallas. He's got 30 or 40 people on his payroll that works underneath him with his freaking photographer and all these people that follow him. I don't want that. I don't want that in Dallas. This is all speculation. This is what Jerry wants. He wants the Cowboys to be in the news. He's talking to Deion Sanders. It's all over every network. This is what he wants. This is what he gets every year. They're never going to sign him. He makes more money at CU than he ever will in Dallas. Dallas offered McCarthy $5 million a year. They're not ever going to go higher than that, even though coaches aren't on the salary cap. You're never going to see us land a big name coach because Jerry never pays more than $5 million.
Oh,
so you're not. Go ahead, Ace.
So I brought it up. He signed 5-year, $29.5 million to coach for Colorado. He's got an $8 million buyout with them. Hold up. Jerry Jones was paying McCarthy $5 million.
Yeah.
Wow. That seems like lower than the average coach. But wow.
Yeah,
honestly,
we'll never get a big name coach. That's why.
Yeah. Like that just proves it right there. They might not be able to get Deion.
You're not like at all. Like, I don't believe the whole 30 people coming with him. Like, I know you're exaggerating a little bit, but like,
I'm not exaggerating.
But you're not like you think about, like, obviously, like, Jackson State's a little bit of a lower school, but the success he had at Jackson State, how he has turned around Colorado University, like, you're not at all like, all right, like, we're kind of a young team. Like, I'd be interested to see
Mountain West or whatever they're in. I mean, what kind of division was that? The Big 12? I mean, come on. It's not like they beat Alabama or they beat Michigan or they beat USC or they beat Texas or they beat all these big schools. They beat nobodies.
Can he coach? Do you think he can coach in the NFL? Do you think he has like?
No, he's got a huge coaching staff that makes him look good.
Man, I feel like you're really hitting on Deion Sanders right now, man. I like
circus, man.
Take the circus out of it. Like he was just recorded a couple days ago of him giving the new rules to the students at Colorado. And I love the culture that he brings about, like, this is how you're gonna dress for your classes. Like, you're gonna sit in the front row, seniors especially.
I love that. Yeah.
Like the culture that he instills in these kids. I like it. And I'd be very intrigued to see what kind of change he would bring. Would he be able to do that? Would he be able to do that to grown men who are millionaires? No, he's not going to tell the coaches, the people in Dallas, hey, you got to come dress like this. No, but it's not going to happen. Some players need a good leader of men to, like, take charge. And if you can't respond well to that, then you shouldn't be in the league. You can't respect your coaches. Like that. Deion is a really religious man, and I appreciate everything he does for students. I don't think he has that ability to lead men. I'm sorry. He's got a huge coaching staff with NFL coaches, Warren Sapp, T.O., Pat Shurmur, all those coaches out there to help him. He's got a huge coaching body. Jerry is never going to allow all of that to come to Dallas because Jerry's not going to want to pay all of them. Yeah. Now, Kellen Moore has been requested to come interview your head coaching job. What do you? Absolutely. Good, smart offense. Because Kellen Moore would be a yes man for Jerry. You know, he'll be a yes man. It'll be his first head coaching job. But his offense had us in the top 5 in offense every year he was there. That's the difference, in my opinion, between Deion and Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, in my opinion, is a great offensive coordinator. I don't see Kellen Moore being a leader of men. Yep. Yeah, I see Deion being more of a leader of men than him. Yes, and sometimes, and I was actually just listening to a podcast on this. Sometimes you hire head coaches and they're really good defensive coordinators, but they're not a good head coach. Or sometimes they're a really good offense coordinator, but they're not a good head coach. And I feel like Deion would be at least a decent head coach for you. And then you could bring in a Kellen Moore for your offense corner. You can go and find a really good defense corner. I don't say it's realistic. I don't even know if it would happen. But I mean, I would be very intrigued. I'd be very intrigued. And I think it'd be exciting because Dallas, what's new? Like, what's been exciting with Dallas, right? You had what's Clapman? I forget his name. What was your coach? Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, Mike McCarthy, who's got a great winning percentage as a coach, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I just think Deion would be something good.
You know who I want? I want Pete Carroll or I want John Gruden. Those guys are leaders of men. That's who I want. Those guys are going to demand the locker room. Kellen Moore won't. He'll be another Jason Garrett. But I would take him because of his offense. He's been there. He's worked with Dak several times. So I would take him.
So, like, as a Dallas fan, those are the two coaches you want. Out of all the coaches that are interviewing right now, you want John Gruden or Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is going to eventually not be able to tie his shoes in a couple months.
Okay, he's in great shape. He's in great shape.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all. But you know what, Ty? We're never going to get any of those coaches because we don't pay coaches more than $5 million a year.
Yeah.
They're never going to get them. Aaron Glenn and them are going to get $10 million a year.
Yeah.
We're never. Ben Johnson's going to get $10 million a year.
They were talking about that. If Dallas wouldn't have delayed with Mike McCarthy, they said that they probably would have been a possibility of a landing spot for Bill Belichick. But I don't think in my personal opinion that Jerry Jones hires a coach that would want to take the reins. Like, I think Jerry wants a yes man. Like you said, the Kellen Moore fits that perfectly.
Mm-hmm. And let's face it, who wants to go to Dallas anyway? We have $5 million in cap space. We have to pay Micah Parsons. We have to pay Deron Bland. We have 22 free agents that we can't sign. The Dallas Cowboys are the new Detroit Lions because of the way our GMs run this team.
Yeah, but I heard someone say this, man. Head coaching opportunity is a head coaching opportunity, especially when it's a star and you're like that. Everyone knows Dallas Cowboys. Like that.
What happened to Jerry Mayo? Jerry Mayo in New England, 1 year fired.
Yeah,
you don't want to fire.
They wanted Vrabel. They wanted Vrabel.
I'm just saying, you don't want to fire. Then why didn't they hire Vrabel last year? They could have hired him last year.
Yeah, that one didn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't
want to fire a coach every year. I mean, how many offensive coordinators are going to give it your quarterback every other year? I mean, it doesn't work. I hate the Cowboys. I really do. like I said before I came on here, I'm going to root for the Cowboys during the regular season, and then in the playoffs, I'm going to cheer for Kansas City because I know they're winners.
I like that. Cross division too. Like you're on the other side of it. So that's fair, right?
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I hate this time of the year. I got nothing to cheer for. The Cowboys, they're not in the playoffs. You know, the Sixers, they suck. Baseball season's far away. The Flyers, they suck. There's nothing to cheer for. I'm bored.
That's why Deion would bring excitement into your life.
No, I don't want that kind of excitement. I'd rather put gasoline in my eyes and light it. That's exciting.
Golly, man. Golly.
God.
I don't want that.
My eyes are tearing up just thinking of that.
So John Gruden and Pete Carroll, that's who you want in Dallas. I think that there'd be a lot of people that want it definitely as something different. But yeah,
I want a GM. That's what I want. I want a GM. I don't care who coaches the team. I want a GM. I want someone that's actually going to do something for the team.
Mm-hmm. I think that would help you guys the most because then if you could have a bridge between Jerry and the head coach, maybe it helps. But they haven't. I don't know. Jerry likes the yes men, like we've been saying, so it's hard to fit somebody in there, especially if they're not going to pay him either to really make a difference at this point.
That was
Never
it you the other day that got
anybody,
it.
But
golly, was it you the other day that you were excited because you were like, I heard a rumor that what next the guy with
Elon Musk bought the Cowboys?
Elon bought the Cowboys.
Oh God, I would have been so excited. I would have been so happy.
Golly,
because he's got a bigger yacht than Jerry. And he wouldn't come around. He'd just buy him, just to buy him. He wouldn't even come around. He's just like, here, I bought this. I own them. You guys do what you want. That's it.
All right. So before we go on to our Vikings Rant by Ace, I have a little game, and I've seen a bunch of it on TikTok and YouTube. I love this little game. I will show you a picture of a quarterback. Neither one of you talk, and I will continue to show you pictures of other quarterbacks. And if you think the picture that I show you is better than the original picture I showed you, then you speak and you say why. Right? Like the first guy I'm going to show you, we're going to say, is this guy better than all these guys I'm going to show you? And if I show you the next picture and you're like, yeah, he's better, like you're going to say why. All right.
I like this. I like this. Okay.
And I know my dad loves this. So we're going to be talking about Lamar Jackson. This is our guy. This is our guy right here. All right.
Sweet ass picture.
We're doing Lamar Jackson.
Oh, he's better than them all.
So I'll show you a picture, and if you don't think that this quarterback is better than Lamar, then you don't say anything. And after like 5 seconds, I'll switch to the next one. All right, first guy. Do you think that he is better than Lamar Jackson? we all know that's a no.
Maybe before Lamar got the yeah.
Next one. Ace wants to.
He looks like he can throw the ball better, but no, you can't. Like all of it, no.
Okay, here we go.
Ooh, no.
He's got almost as many playoff wins as him already.
What about this one?
I would take Jordan Love over him.
How to throw that one in.
Probably even Russell.
Man, none. I only got one more. I thought for sure you'd break eventually. I only got one more. That's all I got. Lamar Jackson, good quarterback. That game was quick. I thought for sure.
My thing is, Lamar's good and he has no weapons. Could you imagine on any of those other teams?
I know. Who? Who's gonna be? I said, imagine Tyreek Hill to Baltimore.
Oh wow. Yeah, speaking of somebody that doesn't pay it, like he just seems like same with what's his name, Deontay Johnson. They just seem Pickens. There's a bunch of these receivers that just seem like total head cases and don't feel like they'll work anywhere.
Like you imagine Derrick Henry came back, obviously he's under contract, and like you had Tyreek Hill in there, and you still have Mark Andrews. Like that's a dominant lineup for him to play. Dominant lineup. I mean, we've all seen the stats.
Between Lamar and the rest of those quarterbacks is Lamar uses his legs more than all the other ones. The other ones don't run. But if you went off of passing yards, Brock Purdy's had a pretty good career in his short term that he's been in football right now.
We could pull his passing yards up, man. He's killing it passing yards too.
Yeah. Got to go Lamar.
How many of those are yak yards? Yak yards, dumps off to the running back or the tight end. That's what Dak gets.
All right, Ace, give it to us.
I don't know.
Give it to us. Minnesota loses in the playoffs in a neutral field to the Rams, who we all talked about were a hot team. I think me and my dad picked the Rams to win that game. I said all Sam Darnold has to do is be Sam Darnold, and they'll have a chance to win that game. Break it down to us.
Actually, we could start there. Honestly, toward the end of the season, did we know actually what Sam Darnold we were going to get?
I would say yes.
Like that's the part that sort of scared me a little bit. Is like going into the game, you obviously felt confident, but Rams get the ball first, go down and score right away. It's already 7-0. I know neutral field, whatever. Said it was about maybe 60-40 or 70-30 Rams fans to Vikings fans, I think, in there. So supposed to be a Rams home game. Getting out to a 7-0 start was not the way we wanted. And then their offense just looked flat again. And you get 9 sacks. I thought the play calling was bad. Darnold played bad. Offensive line played bad. It's tough. And I know we're going to get to like Sam Darnold or JJ, but Sam Darnold cost himself a handful of million, which may make sense for us to re-sign him.
He'll still get paid, but not as much.
Well, and that's why it's somewhat advantageous as a fan to be like, hey, why not offer him a reasonable contract deal?
Yeah.
We have Daniel Jones too. I think the GM has made some amazing moves for the Vikings the last couple of years since he took over. Signing Dan Jones, honestly, was a genius move. Picked him up, put him on the practice squad. I think that strategy was in place to say, okay, if Darnold's market is way too high, we know we got him. We know we got JJ to kind of back him up, and obviously the long-term future. It was tough to watch though, overall, like just the sacks, not being able to get the ball away. You can blame some of those on the offensive line, I guess, but he did not look comfortable the last handful of games. They were 3-3 against playoff teams this year. Granted, ironically, they had 4 losses between the Lions and the Rams this year So whatever. I'm kind of 3-3 against division. So they were 11-0 against basically shitty teams or teams that were, didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to beat those teams.
Yep. And the record may have been a little facade to some degree. I mean, you beat the 49ers, which is a huge win. You beat Texans early in the season, which was a huge win, obviously looking back on it now, but man, down the stretch, it was just disappointing. I'm pretty sure the last, like between the Lions and the 49ers, I think they gave up like 15 sacks or something in 2 games. That's terrible.
Yeah. Here,
So-
I think I have a new feature where I can show some comments. Can I? Yeah, there it is. Look at that. Got choked on 2 biggest games. Let him go. JJ's the future. Yes, he is.
No,
Gary.
he's
Listen,
not, Gary.
what
No,
is-
he's not.
What's his market though? What do you think
That's
his
coming
market?
from an Ohio State fan.
Does Sam sign? Is it less than what Baker? What did Baker
yeah,
sign?
so I think it would still be smart. I don't think the Vikings bring Daniel Jones back, but I think it's smart to bring Sam back. I think you let him and JJ compete. Yes, I
Okay.
agree to you, Dad. We were talking about this earlier on the podcast. The offensive line was getting destroyed by 3 rushers, 4 rushers at a time. They were choking Sam Darnold. But I will say, and we talked about this on the podcast, the last 2 games of the season, Sam Darnold did not look like Sam Darnold. He looked very uncomfortable, and he starts to play those big key games and looks uncomfortable. And he looked uncomfortable in that game.
The whole team did.
He did not look like he knew where to throw the ball.
You guys look like Dallas against Green Bay last year.
Oh, that's a great point actually.
And that's so
fell apart.
It's so frustrating as a fan, Ace. I can only imagine. I've seen it a handful of times with Drew Brees. You're just so dominant during the season, and playoffs kicks in, and it is literally survival of the fittest. Who's gonna be able to handle this moment? And I don't think Sam. I mean, he's still young, still a young quarterback. I still think Sam Darnold was a steal for you guys this year. 14-2. I mean, you guys could not have begged for a better season after what happened with JJ was drafted, he goes down, and you're like, well, we suck.
I mean, it was a great season for the Vikings. If you asked us going into this or said, hey, you guys have a chance at the end of the year to basically play for the number 1 seed in the division, I'd be like, shut up. You're kidding me.
Yeah.
There's no way that's going to happen. It happened.
Yeah.
It was an amazing. What do you guys, I wanted to get your take on the whole, was it a fumble? Should a penalty have been called for intentional grounding with Stafford? Sure, they said Puka was in the zone. There's no way he was intending to actually complete the pass. It should have been at least intentional grounding. And sure, I'm
that play wouldn't have changed the outcome anyway.
Maybe not. I honestly kind of agree with you, Chris, too. I honestly agree with you anyways, just the way Darnold was playing, but it's come on,
I think in the heat of the moment, you're like that. There's no way. But when you watch it back from someone who's not a Vikings fan and not heated in the moment, it was a smart play. I mean, that's just something that guys like him and Mahomes do. I didn't get to see how close Puka was, and if Puka was not in that zone, I mean, but you can definitely see he's throwing the ball. He's spiking it. It almost looks like when a quarterback goes to throw a screenplay and it's not there, he just spikes at the feet. It's exactly what it looks like. And it was brilliant. I'm sad to say it, Ace, but it was a brilliant play.
Well, yeah, I agree. I don't think it was a fumble, but yeah.
It's simple. The cream of the crop rises to the top, and you're just not ready to rise yet.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Their defense is young. The defense is young. Rams, I mean, we'll get to our division picks.
I'll tell even a hot take. I think I'd be more scared of the Rams right now than the Lions.
Oh, yeah.
That's just my pick. People might think I'm insane for that, but we talk about it every single year. The Rams, think about the Rams journey. They trade away all of their draft capital, go to a Super Bowl, have a bad year, and now look where they are. They have a great system. Great system.
What did they win? 7 in a row now or something like that?
Is it? Wow. Do they have the longest winning streak? Might be something like that.
So.
I don't know. Now this is Ace. I mean, I talked about what I would do for you as a quarterback in your quarterback room, but what do you want? Do you want to possibly draft someone in the late round, have them compete with JJ? Do you want Sam Darnold back? Obviously, probably not for a high amount of money.
I mean, I kind of agree with you, Ty. If we can get Sam Darnold on maybe a 3, even a franchise tag deal where it's not against the cap.
Yeah,
you got like you said, Chris, let him compete in training camp. If JJ's not healthy for whatever reason, I think Darnold's good enough to obviously. The question is, he'll win you games in the regular season. Come playoff time. By the way, I didn't realize that was his first playoff game ever. But
ever. So I mean, Grant, the game was still close in the end. You weren't getting blown out.
Garbage time.
it didn't look good, especially when they go down and score at the end of the half to make it 24-3. Like it's
like as a Vikings fans, I get it. You're mad in the moment. You're in the playoffs, and you're just this is not how you want this game to roll. But like also like 14-2 and go in the playoffs with a quarterback that's never been in the playoffs. Like I'd bring him back.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I'm still excited on the side to see if JJ. I mean JJ looked amazing preseason. That's preseason, but like I'd still be excited.
The thing that sucks too is 14-2 and you get a road game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if you're Minnesota, I think you get the biggest and the fattest offensive lineman that's available at your pick. I think you have the weapons offensively. You just need a better line.
Yeah, and most of their key players are going to be signed back. They're going to have to sign not only offensive, maybe even D line, interior, but they need cornerbacks too. I think no cornerback and safety they're all free agents, at least the starters.
Yeah.
But the Eagles prove it all the time. You don't have to have good cornerbacks. You have to have good fat boys up front to get the pressure on the quarterback. You get pressure on the quarterback, you can put anybody out there to play cornerback.
Even if you want JJ as your future, like bring Sam in and be like, hey, like, listen, we want to give you a 2-year contract. I mean, you can compete for JJ and maybe you'll even get the spot. But I mean, JJ's going to give it the full opportunity to be the future and God forbid JJ gets hurt again. You know what you have in Sam.
Thing is, I think I'm the minority though about bringing him back, which means I feel like a lot of fans are either going to boo him or I don't know. You'd hate to see somebody get booed based off, a couple games, shitty games, even though had a great season, but I just feel like I'm in the minority about bringing him back. So who knows?
Plenty of guys you can grab, like an Andy Dalton or a veteran quarterback, just to be there for JJ.
My thing is about Darnold is you guys were down like 24-7 in a blink of an eye. He didn't give those points up. The defense did. So I mean, you just can't blame him.
3 and outs though. Yeah. It's
All right, let's get into division round picks. And what's interesting about this is, there's kind of teams I'm rooting for to lose.
I got a perfect ticket.
There's teams that I want to lose just so that they can come interview for the New Orleans Saints. Like the Commanders and Lions, whoever loses that, like Aaron Glenn can either come in for an in-face interview or Cliff Kingsbury, who was supposed to interview this Friday and Saturday, but is now fully focusing on the playoff games and is not going to do any interviews right now. But starting us off with Saturday, 4:30 game. It's weird having Saturday games, man, but I love it at the same time. Texans and Chiefs, man. And what's so awesome about that is that the Chiefs win and the Bills beat the Ravens. We got such a showdown to go to the Super Bowl. Texans, who what's so funny, man, is we sat here and we said the Texans aren't going to win, man. They've been so inconsistent all year, and they just dominated.
I picked them.
They dominated. Who did they play again? Who did they play again?
Ty, Chris picked them.
I picked them.
Ty, Chris.
Because you know what? The one thing no one talked about was their defense finally got healthy.
Yeah. Dude, and who is it? Danielle Hunter, former Viking, shout out. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson are
great duo.
Dude, you got those bookends. And you know what? They didn't have them all year together.
Gosh, man.
You
imagine the Texans upset the Chiefs, man? That'd be great.
This week.
What are you going with, Chris?
I'm going Kansas City. They can't go against 15-3. Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. Going with Pat. I'm riding Patty Boy all the way to the Super Bowl.
I gotta ride him too.
I think because I doubted the Texans, and I like the way their defense. I like the way Joe Mixon's playing. I think I'm gonna go with the Texans here.
I just don't think the Texans have the weapons. I think it's going to catch up to them, all those injuries with Tank Dell and their other receivers. I mean, if they take away Nico Collins, who do they have? That Minchie, whatever his name is?
You know what it is, man. First round bye, you get a little too comfortable, relaxing for a week.
Oh, he just had a baby. They just had a baby. He's going to take that baby right to a three-peat.
Oh, wow.
So we got you guys both taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the Texans. Saturday night game. Awesome for the Commanders, man. Big round of applause to the Commanders being able to come. And you see the video of the kicker and his ADHD, how he was putting the helmet on and touching his hair. Did you see that?
No.
You didn't see that? So, like, he goes to put his – for the game-winning kick, he's walking out, and he puts his helmet on, takes it off, fixes his hair. He's got, like, no hair. He's short hair. And then goes – wait, no. Oh, no, fix it. He does it, like, 10 times. Everybody was talking about it. And then he goes –
and wasn't that, like, their fourth kicker they used this year?
I don't know, dude, but you imagine kicking that and it doinks in. Gosh, dude, the nerves. You got the Commanders going into Detroit again. First round bye. You know how that works. 15-2, playing 12-5. Yeah, I think I would love to see the Commanders upset the Lions. That'd be awesome. But I've been wanting the Lions to go to the Super Bowl the past couple of years.
The Cinderella season comes to an end.
You know what? I really want that too. I'm fighting so bad not to pick the Commanders, but I got to go Commanders. I don't know why, other than the fact that Daniels can scramble against the Lions, and that's going to be very difficult.
The Lions defense is banged up, and if Daniels can scramble and make plays happen like that, that's in his benefit. I'm taking the Lions obviously all year with Goff and St. Brown. Like
I'm just saying it's going to be a good game, but if it's a shootout, I think the Lions have too many weapons.
Well, and I think one of the teams is going to shoot themselves in the foot. I watched the most of that Buccaneers Commanders game, and the amount of time Commanders would go for it, not get it. I'm like, dude, just get points, just kick a field goal, get points. Didn't matter.
Here's my hot take.
They fought all year.
Here's my hot take for that game: the Lions score points on every possession in the first half.
Oh, you should put a parlay on that.
Oh God, that would play out a lot.
Sunday, Sunday 3 p.m. game. We have the Rams in Philly. I'm taking the Rams. I like the Rams. I think the Eagles. Eagles are good, man. I picked the Eagles against Jordan Love, but I'm rolling with the Rams. I just talked a big game about them being better than the Lions right now, and I got to stick with it. I like the Rams. I like Sean McVay. I like the offense rolling. I like the defense. It's good. That's my game. It's not my game either.
I agree with you, Ty. I mean, there's something wrong with the Eagles. I mean, AJ Brown only had one target or something like that. The only thing good about AJ Brown, he was reading the Bible on the sideline, which I absolutely loved.
It wasn't the Bible, was it?
Yeah, it was the Bible. And there's something wrong with Philly that they only scored 19 points in that game.
Oh, and they got gifted the first play of the kickoff. The Eagles or the Packers fumbled it. So they got an easy 7 points right there. It wasn't easy, but they got great field position.
I think this is going to be the game of the week. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a good game because both defenses, I mean, Philly's defense up front's unstoppable, but the secondary with all the weapons that the Rams have, I could see them throwing all over them. And Slay's hurt too, so that might even be another loss for them.
I got to go Rams too. I
could see it being a close game though.
That's what I mean. 100%. That's what I mean. It's going to be a shootout.
I could see it being a low scoring game. Like I could just see
I don't know about that.
Two good defenses playing. I mean,
Although,
they got fat boys for the Eagles.
What's the weather going to be? I know it's going to be like -5 here.
Hurts.
It's predicted to be 34 with light snow at the current moment.
It's funny that we're all on the Rams then. I got to go Rams too. I think their offense is better. I think their defense can stop the run to some degree against Barkley. That's going to be, I agree, Chris. That probably will be, we got the Bills and Ravens. If it wasn't for that game, this is my second favorite game.
You think about the matchup, Williams and Barkley, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, Cooper Kupp and Nakua. Gosh, that's a mouthful. Like that's two offenses rolling at each other.
The only thing that concerns me about the Rams is Stafford was running for his life in this first game. If the Eagles get penetration on him, oh man, that might be a problem for him.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still going Rams.
Stafford.
I hate Philly. I don't know, 30
He's
something.
my age. I think it's 36. 36 or 37.
You think he's done this year?
No.
He's 36, you think?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Because I remember, him and Kershaw are the same age as me.
I would love to trade Dak for him.
That'd be so dumb because you only have like one more year with him or something.
I don't care. We can get out of that bad contract.
Yeah, he is 36, bro. You got to think he's probably got like a year or two left.
He's got $104 million in dead cap money because of Dak.
Gosh. All right, 6:30. Yeah, that's interesting. Not an 8 o'clock game. 6:30 game on Sunday. We have the Ravens in Buffalo. Gosh, pick your what? Like I'd love to see both. I'd love to see both these teams. It says 17 with overcast.
17 degrees. Ooh. So that's a run game. So Baltimore has a better run game.
I'd love to see both these teams go to Super Bowl, man. I really would.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's been having an outstanding year. Lamar's been having an outstanding year.
The thing that concerns me is Zay Flowers had not practiced all week.
I think I take Buffalo. It's a home game. Josh Allen at home. I like that matchup. I personally do. This is gonna be a fun game to watch, though, because I would love to see either team go all the way. I'd love to see one of these teams knock off the Chiefs.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Trinidad. Your Bills run stops this week. I'm taking Lamar, and I say Lamar and them combined for 190 yards rushing.
Golly.
Oh, God. I'm taking the Ravens too. I think they got something special there, regardless of who they got at receiver. Lamar, both guys are unstoppable to like take down in the pocket. They can scramble out there. Like Lamar is quick as hell. Josh Allen's huge. Derrick Henry's the difference maker, though. I like Chris. You're right. They could have 200 yards rushing. And
Cooks, though, man.
Take
Cooks
the
can
over.
have a phenomenal year.
My favorite bet of the week. Take the over on this game.
Yeah,
Gosh,
but Baltimore's defense has just showed up lately, man. Baltimore's defense is just
that's like
freaking
that's one of the
pumped.
situations where it's like, who do you want to see to go to Super Bowl, Lamar or Allen? I want both of them to get a Super Bowl. Like,
Yes.
they both have played so well.
I'm calling it right now. Kansas City, Detroit. That's the Super Bowl.
Kansas City,
And I
Detroit.
picked the Lions to win it.
I hope Kansas City loses. That's our picks for you this week. Deion is going to Dallas. We have an inside source going on to that. JJ McCarthy is, in fact, going to be the starter next year.
This hat stands for Detroit.
But as you can see, guys, we are live on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. Please share. Please comment. We love to see your comments while we're recording, and we will 9 times out of 10 respond to it. Unless it's inappropriate, we'll probably laugh at it instead.
Yeah.
But we will see you guys next time. Next time we'll be talking about who's going to the Super Bowl, and we love it. And we'll see you guys next time.